A monstrous crypto launch gone wrong. SAVM tanks nearly 91% in just 1 week after a huge launch took place across YouTube and Twitter. This project and its community now surrounded by scandal. In this video, I'm going to break down the key telltale signs that were there, looking at a bunch of free tools that we can use to avoid being caught up in any messes like this in the future. So guys, do me a favor, hit that like button and let's get into today's video. So guys, what on earth has been happening in the last week? Well, this project was the talk of the town last week, it seemed, and I'll show you why that is in a minute. With the battle of crypto scammers, Ape Terminal and MEXC BTC fighting over a sketchy launch of a new token. Why so sketchy, I hear you cry? Well, basically because of a bunch of different stories and name calling and all that good stuff. Basically, a crypto influencer with around 500,000 followers called MEXC BTC basically liquidated $20 million of his tokens on the launch day along with all his friends, making an absolute killing. But he wasn't the only one. Hundreds of different influencers, predominantly across Twitter, made over $7 million. Other members of the team cashed out $2 million, and then other smart money traders also made a killing as well. Who were the biggest losers? Well, as always, the retail investors. So why has this happened? Well, predominantly because of greed and loose morals. And will it happen again? Absolutely. Why will it happen? Because that greed is always going to continue and probably continue to intensify as time goes on. If we wish to interact in the crypto world, we need to be aware of all this fun and game stuff because it's going to happen and it's going to continue to happen whether it's right or wrong. Okay, so here's the scene. You've just turned on your Twitter in the morning. Suddenly everyone's talking about a project. You're like, wow, this sounds like it might be something that's interesting to me. Satoshi VM, you go across the website and it seems to be like an interesting project. You know, it looks like it's got a good website, which, let's be honest, guys, is what most of us do. First things first though, this project doesn't have one thing that I want before I'm even going to look at maybe talking about investing in a project. There's no pictures of anyone in the team. Just disregard it, okay? There's projects out there that might do well and you don't know who the team players are, but so what? Don't invest in projects with people who are not willing to show their face. There's only one reason they're not willing to show their face, and that's because usually they've got something to hide. First big issue. Then we see something very interesting. Around the time of the launch of this particular token, on the 20th and 21st, we then see a massive surge in the number of posts and interactions going on. This is on lunacrush.com, and this massive surge in interactions comes from a handful of key players. Some of these big names across Twitter, some of these big names across YouTube. And yes, I know what you're thinking, so I'm just going to do an @find and look for the House of Crypto, and you'll see that I'm not on this list, thank God. So why every influencer suddenly posted at once? Well, basically this was a coordinated marketing effort. A group of people basically went to all different KOLs, offered them an opportunity to get involved in this project, SAVM. I think a lot of these KOLs probably didn't go and look too much in depth at this project, then got on board with a certain deal where they basically needed to shill it in order to get allocation. The price then suddenly rallies really aggressively after launch, where you can see it goes all the way up to around $28 here on this MEXC chart. And then what? Well, according to this bubble map, basically all the influencers started to offload. Everyone else started to offload because maybe some made 200, 300x on their tokens and they offloaded. Now, it's not enough to just say that, okay, I'm not going to listen to any influencers. I'm never going to participate in anything I hear on Twitter or YouTube again, because actually that could cost you a lot of money. Here's Manta, for example. We can see now surging towards the upside in terms of interactions. And you can see the Manta price has actually done pretty well after this sort of aggressive launch. Yeah, it's starting to come back down. I would anticipate maybe a bigger fall before carrying on. I don't know anything about Manta. Don't buy it, okay? If you want to buy it, go and research it, find out more. I don't have any clue about it, okay? I just know that it seems to have had a successful launch from the price, and I know that it was trending quite heavily on Lunacrush, okay? So why can we not ignore the influencers? Well, not because I'm an influencer and I want you to listen to me, but because of this. Guys, most of crypto is propped up by hot air. Doesn't mean anything, okay? It's propped up by you, me, and other people buying stuff and selling stuff. This is the only thing. How do I know that? Well, let's just take a look at Token Terminal. Synthetics down here. Fees over the last year to date. Looking at DYDX, for example, you got $5 million or just under $5 million. DYDX, we can see, has a market cap of over $1 billion. Which means in the last year it's made $5 million and it's got a valuation of $1 billion, which I think is like 20,000 to 1, which means in like 20,000 years at $5 million fees, it would have paid for itself. Okay? I think the maths is right on that. If it's not, get your calculator out. Let me know down below. Appreciate it. So let's look at another reputable stock in comparison. Tesla, who sells cars, has a stock price and a PE, profit ratio, okay, in 2022, 34. So 34 years to pay off the valuation, and then like 74 years in the late one. And that's pretty overinflated, but it's not as overinflated as DYDX. And that's not just picking on DYDX, crypto is like that. And it's only going to get more like that as this kind of bull market starts to get going. So why am I telling you that? Well, because an essential thing for you to make money in crypto is that media talks about a project or anything, okay? Really essential. If media doesn't kind of give it too much attention and excitement, it's not going to do anything, okay? We've seen a lot of projects gaining a lot of media recently, and you're like, oh, they didn't get promotions and stuff. Pretty much everything gets promoted. Now, we can come to the activity summary on Lunar Crush and look at Manta. We know that Manta's going hard, and we know that Manta's being promoted by lots of different people, okay? Why does it get promoted? Well, guys, because of this. 34 million people in crypto looking at stuff going on with Manta because they're following creators talking about stuff on Manta. Now, can we trust any influencer out there? Absolutely. But should we do it blindly? Absolutely not. Because YouTubers and influencers might not be particularly smart. And just because they appear to talk about something on a daily basis, they might seem to know what they're talking about, but maybe they missed something. And I think a lot of people with that SAVM stuff definitely missed it. Why do I think they missed it? Well, because a lot of people who are talking about it will be in a world of pain because of this situation. But they've only got to the size that they've got to by knowing you should really look after your communities. But promotion will always be a part of YouTube. And just so you can be aware, I do take the occasional promotion, although most of the time I do say no. Here's some evidence. It's back in July 23. Someone asked me about binary options. Whilst there's a chance to make money, 99% of people lose money. I need to protect my community. Here's another one. Not for me, thanks. Here's another one. Sorry, not interested right now. Hey man, sorry, not interested in memes. Okay. And why is that? Well, guys, because I know that my success will come from having the biggest YouTube channel I can possibly get. And I only get to have the biggest YouTube channel I could possibly get by trying to do things for you guys to trust me. In a world where no one trusts anyone, it's a bit tricky. But seeing as we know that YouTubers and Twitter promoters will continue to push new projects, we need to be more responsible and go and check them for ourselves. Now we need to check something else. What allowed all those people in SAVM to offload all their tokens was this. They were given an allocation in order to promote this project. We know that now, okay? And I'm sure Manta and other projects do similar things. But the difference is this. If you go to dropstab.com and you come down to this section where it says vesting, and this is SAVM, vesting, you will see that there is no information. Why is there no information? Well, because of some shady shit going on. And effectively, it's this. I actually found this earlier by looking through Twitter, okay? It's really quite useful. It's called Crypto Monkey ETHbot, okay? It's free. It says you need to pay for tokens, but I didn't. So I think you can just click there and you go to Telegram, and here's the post that it had for SAVM Satoshi. Now guys, just because an influencer or someone's told you about a project, if you check something like this that tells you about the project, you're probably going to be like, fuck, I'm not going to buy that, okay? Why not? Hidden owner, don't know who he is, or she, okay? It's important. Why would they want to hide themselves? Maybe they want to hide because they want to sell some stuff. Top 5 wallets holding 60% of the whole allocation. No. Okay, we don't want to be involved in anything like that because then our balls are in someone else's hands. You know what I mean? Okay, so we don't want that. Okay, someone's got us by the nuts. Right, we don't want to be involved in that. Liquidity not burned, locked. Okay, contract not renounced yet. All of this is very alarming stuff. 10 out of 100, so 1 out of 10 score. And then this is very key. Suspicious allocations, many people getting 0.02%, lots of people getting a 0.16 allocation. These are obviously all the concentrations to the different team members, all the kind of distributions amongst lots of influencers. That's all alarming in itself, okay? Basically, what this is saying is very few people are holding most of this project, which means that if you get in, you have no control. You can lose everything like that because they only need to sell and take your liquidity. And you pair this up with the fact that there is no vesting or apparent vesting on this project, and then it's a disaster. And you're like, well, what's vesting? Good question. When these projects like Satoshi VM raise money, they probably would have done it through various people, whether it's venture capital, KOLs, etc. Now, it is the aim of the venture capital company to get out as soon as possible. Why? Because they can buy at a heavily discounted price because they're buying before that kind of hot air enters the space. They want to sell to the hot air so they can make money. And this is the game of crypto. This is how it works, okay? It's not nice. It's not moral. It's nothing like that. But if you want to be involved in this, you need to know about these things. So let's look at Manta, a very interesting one. Come down below, we click on vesting. And what we can see is very important because Manta is willingly showing us its vesting. Now, vesting basically is a locking up period so that if you invest early in a project, you can't just dump your tokens back onto the market. Why? Because if you invested, let's say $50,000 and then tomorrow the project launches and you make 100x, which is like $5 million, you're going to sell it all, aren't you? If you sell it all, someone has to take that hit, and it's always the retailers. So if you're a retailer, you can't be investing in new projects that don't have clear vesting schedules. A vesting schedule should be looking like this. So, for example, we come down below, the advisory team. We can see they've already had some unlock in the last 29 days. This is the valuation of the unlock. We can come down below, we can see the team have no unlock for the first 2,000 days. 2,000 days until they can get any money out of this project. That means this project's not going to shit on us, okay? It's more reliable. So if you're combining a few things, which this launch of SAVM did, which is a massive marketing campaign designed to capture innocent and frankly, sadly, ignorant investors, where you've basically got no vesting period, you see the price rally like that, everyone can then offload their tokens, and it's an absolute shit show disaster. Because then it is literally a pump and dump. The whole project itself is completely meaningless. And this could have all been solved, and you could have avoided being in a project like this by just doing a few simple steps. So yeah, look at this crypto monkey bot, it's free. So my point is this, it's worth paying attention to some of the media hype and attention that's getting driven towards particular projects, but under no circumstances should you just jump in blindly and take that information that you've heard from any particular influencer, no matter how much you've heard them or respect them or anything like that. If I ever talk to you about any project that I'm looking at, then you 100% need to go away and verify for yourself whether it's worth looking into at all. The things I've shown you are very simple checks that would have had you completely leave this project alone. Remember, this market is bullshit, guys, okay? It's basically built on hot air and empty promises. But there's a lot of money to be made if you can be smart and navigate your way through this treacherous market. Because otherwise, the rich will continue to get richer and the poor, unfortunately, will continue to get poorer. And you can see it happening on every single chart. Look, this is Jupiter. Some good news about an airdrop, pumps the price 223%. Currently, we wake up today and now look, price is now down 72%. Time and time and time again. So guys, simple, go and use bubblemaps.io, which is free. You can just type in at the top right whatever you wanted to look at, like this one, which was SAVM. You can then go and look at the different wallets and see that the distribution, even after all that, is still looking pretty messy. You don't really want to be investing when we see these big wallets like this. We can also then use dropstab.com to go and check on vesting schedules and things like that. Okay, don't invest in projects that don't have clear vesting schedules announced on their IDOs, and use Lunar Crush to understand where that hype and excitement is coming from. Is that hype and excitement something that we want to be paying attention to and want to be getting involved in? Are we going to be the early ones in the rush, or are we just going to be the exit liquidity? Now guys, hopefully that has helped you. Remember, you and you alone need to look after yourself in this market because no one else is going to do it for you. If you've ever got questions or you don't know which way to turn, then first of all, never make any impulse decisions, whether that be like buying into new cryptos you've never even heard of. And also get into my free Telegram, which is linked down below in the description. And there's lots of people in there who can help you out with your questions whenever you need it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. See you later. Bye-bye.